Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, everyone. You got Lanny, Bert here. We are the Dividend Diplomats, and we are about to talk to you about some of our recent dividend stock purchases.
Smash that subscribe button. Give Bert and I a nice blue thumbs up right there. Click it, smack it, destroy it, obliterate it. We're here to talk to you about big dividend stock moves that Bert the Hurt and Lanny the Man over here made this past week.
Yeah, it's been a while since we brought you one of these videos. The market just continues to climb as we get towards the end of the year. The S&P 500's PE ratio is well over 35 times X, which is huge compared to its historical levels of 18 to 20X. So finding an undervalued dividend stock has not been the easiest task, but it hasn't been impossible either.
And if you don't know already, you know that me and my wife, we've been keeping it very steady and consistent. Click the link to watch the video on how and why we are investing every week into Vanguard's VYM ETF each and every week, because we want to stay invested in the market versus timing the market.
Yeah, and that's huge because over time the stock market appreciates and so will your income and your wealth. So the best time to get going is today if you haven't already. So to start building that growing dividend income stream, that's what it's all about.
Now, Bert said it best. The stock market continues to rise and set new records. This past week, with the coronavirus vaccine coming out, there was a lot of more promise, as well as more promise from the economic stimulus package that's being delivered. Now, with that, it has been harder to find undervalued dividend stock investments in the current environment. However, that's what Bert and I always stay true to what we do when we run stocks through the Dividend Diplomat stock screener, where we keep it simple with 3 dividend metrics.
Price to earnings ratio less than the S&P 500, dividend payout ratio less than 60%, and a history of increasing your dividend. Again, I pointed up earlier, click the link above to watch our video on the stock screener if you want to learn more about it and each of the metrics in detail.
Now, as an investor and a dividend investor looking for those stocks to buy to add to your forward income, I know I usually love to add to my current stock positions.
Yeah, there is nothing better than just building a position and getting a larger dividend from a stock you already held. Personally, I've already bought that stock once. I've done the research. I like the company at an earlier time, so it makes me feel a little bit better knowing that I've already bought once. I already know I like it. It checks my boxes, and then I can just allocate a little bit more to that position.
And then you may run into a place where, hey, I'm already heavy or at a good position in that dividend stock. So then you look at either another industry or another dividend stock. Bert has a really good example in this dividend stock purchase video of a stock he bought that was in an industry he was underweight in and a stock that he didn't already own.
Yeah, so I'm excited. This one was kind of spur of the moment, so you'll see exactly to the point Lanny was trying to prove.
So now you're here, you want to see what the 2 Dividend Diplomat dividend investors bought during this past week of December 14th. I'll kick it off because, one of mine is very boring and I kind of want to get that one out of the way so we can go into Bert's, one of his exciting, more, again, different stock purchases. So to get right into it, my wife and I, again, on Monday, we each bought shares into Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, ticker symbol VYM. I bought 3 shares, and what I had thought we were buying my wife 3 shares, we actually bought 6 shares. And I do actually vaguely remember on Monday, I was like, wait, did these shares settle? Did I put that order in? Because every Monday it just goes. And I thought I didn't see it, so I put in another order, and we actually doubled her order.
You're losing it, Lanny.
I know. It's like buying 1 Papa John's pizza and not realizing you put the order in, and you put it in again.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you pick it up, you ask for Lanny, and then there are just 2 boxes of pizza right there.
And then you look at it and you say, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, looks like we're having 2 tonight.
So that was Vanguard. We then in total bought up 9 shares of this ETF, and they actually released their dividend for that 4th quarter, and it was actually higher, which is awesome, than last year's 4th quarter dividend. So with those 9 shares, we added a little bit over $26 in forward dividend income.
That's a huge amount of income right there to be added. That is great. Congratulations, Lanny and his wife. That's good, pushing that forward and executing on that Vanguard weekly purchase strategy.
But they're here to see this one. This is the big one. the big Bert hurt here.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to take it back to the sector that we covered in an earlier video this week. I made a purchase in a banking stock, a brand new one that is not in my portfolio, headquartered in our home state of Ohio.
Give me an OH.
IO. We're going to drive down 71 here from Cleveland into Columbus, and the company I added was Huntington Bank, ticker symbol HBAN. So why did I just buy this massive bank out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Well, on the Monday where I made my purchase, the company made a major announcement over the weekend before.
Did you buy it before or after the announcement?
I bought it after the announcement when their stock price fell, which also happened to coincide with 2 or 3 days before their ex-dividend date to capture that dividend that I'm going to receive January 2nd.
Here's a key piece if you're an investor. When there is one company, call it Company A, and they announce that they're going to buy Company B, typically Company A stock price will drop. And that is because more than likely Company A had to outbid somebody else, aka paying a little bit higher, a little bit more than what somebody would anticipate. So, investors would say, oh, wow, they overpaid for Company B.
Yeah, so you're seeing more cash potentially go out the door, or in some cases too, if it's an all stock transaction, your equity shares are getting diluted, which decreases the value of that company, which is what happened here. Huntington Bank announced the acquisition of another bank out of the Midwest, and they're now going to be join the battles of these large top 20 banks here and grow to compete on that next tier as they grow, as they look to battle some of these major banks that are ahead of some of these other regional, larger community banks.
So Bert, you bought Huntington Bank shares,
Yep.
Columbus, Ohio. How many shares did you just drop on Huntington?
I purchased 25 shares and they pay an annual dividend of 60 cents per share. So that I added $15 of dividend income from this transaction alone.
Wow, that's a pretty good yield.
Yeah, so they're yielding almost 5%. So when I saw the price fall, a nice 5% yield, I was pretty much sold. And again, I captured it right before the ex-dividend date. And to also add it too, after looking at this acquisition, I got really excited about what this bank is going to become because they added in some nice complements to their Midwestern holdings. They're going to be one of the major players in this area, but they're also expanding their reach out of the Midwest too.
I think some of the investor questions, if you're watching this, I know you're probably wondering, Bert, will you be buying more and at what prices?
Yeah, I'm going to continue buying more of Huntington Bank. Their price actually popped after I purchased them. So if they come back down to the purchase price of where I got them, or if they continue to fall even after that dividend date, I will continue to add.
There you have it. Bert bought 25 shares of Huntington, ticker symbol HBAN, added a whopping $15 to his forward income.
Yeah, let's kick it back your way here, Lanny. What were some of the other stocks you purchased this week? I see some pretty familiar names because I can see the list ahead of you.
So on Friday, December 18th, I made a few purchases for my wife and myself. One stock that you've seen in many videos that just delivered some of the world's best news this past week is the COVID-19 first vaccine that got emergency FDA approval and has been deployed, plus their shots have been injected.
Yeah.
Pfizer, ticker symbol PFE.
Yeah, it's a fantastic purchase that you continue to make with building up your position in Pfizer. The pharmaceutical sector has been very hot lately, and Pfizer was one of the other pharmaceutical giants that actually has increased their dividend this month too. So not only are you adding to your position there, you're adding to your dividend income, but you also got a nice little dividend increase too.
Yeah, got that nice, below 3% dividend increase. Obviously, they've been very heavily involved in the COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, they have a spinoff with Upjohn and Mylan with the new company. Ticker symbol of that is VTRS. So I'm really excited to see what Q2 2021 is going to have because that's when some dividend shakeup will happen with Pfizer. But these 3 shares, again, it was only 3 shares, so you can say $100 purchase right here, and that added a cool $4.68 to my forward dividend income.
Fantastic stuff. I mean, I'm loving seeing all these micro purchases. That's been one of the big benefits of having 0 trade fees on our accounts for the last year. We can make these small 2-share, 3-share, 5-share purchases at a time because we don't have a cost to make them, which has been a nice benefit for us individual investors.
So Bert, let's get into it. What's the next stock that you bought and I also bought?
Yeah, we both bought this company. This was my last purchase for the week. It actually happened at 3:58 on Friday, right before the market closed.
Right before that market closed, baby.
Yeah, I purchased additional shares of Intel, ticker symbol INTC. So I've continued building this position in my portfolio. It's new. I didn't have a long-term position in Intel. A couple of weeks ago, Lanny put them on one of his watch lists. The metrics look great, so I decided, you know what, screw it. Let's just start building up this in this cash-heavy tech giant. We added 10 shares to our portfolio, which will then get us an additional $13.20 in dividend income, and I was able to grab it just under 48 cents per share at the time of the purchase. What about you, Lanny? How many shares did you add?
Picked up 5 shares in that mid $47 range. Again, the big news broke out that Microsoft wants to start making their own chips, similar to Apple, and I think Tesla does something with their own chips. So they're trying to really keep everything in house. I know Amazon does it as well. So that really impacted Intel. They dropped from $50 to $51 right down into the 47s instantly.
Yeah.
And to me, when you look at Intel's business model, sure, the chips for the servers, huge part of their business, but we can't forget what else Intel is a part of. Microsoft, isn't their whole only customer of Intel?
No, that change isn't going to happen overnight either. If Microsoft's going to start building their chips, it's going to take time for this to get fully implemented. Think of all the previous Microsoft machines that have Intel chips that may need to get replaced as well. So yes, this isn't the best news for Intel going forward, but I don't think it's this catastrophic piece that's going to suddenly cause the company to go out of business anytime soon.
So Bert bought 10 shares, adding $13.20 to his forward income. I bought only 5 shares, adding $6.60 going forward, but again, another nice dividend stock purchase.
So we have one more stock that was purchased by Lanny during this last week. We're going to come back to the great state of Ohio. We love our local stock purchases. Lanny, who was this fourth company?
Well, with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good. Now, ticker symbol is SJM. We've talked about them on my dividend stock watch list video. Check out the video and the blog post about it. Again, based in Orrville, Ohio, which is really close to Akron, Ohio. For my wife's portfolio, we purchased 2 more shares of Smuckers. Again, with the pandemic, I think that even if there's a vaccine, I think more people will be at home. More people will be eating what's in their pantry. If kids and other people have more at-home days, you're probably consuming more goods at home. And again, that's where Smuckers comes into play.
Peanut butter, jelly, coffee. It's pretty simple. It can be found in every pantry. It can be found in every refrigerator and definitely in every kitchen. I know I'm brewing coffee every day, sometimes twice, depending on how the day's going. So I think it's just that great staple stock that is a foundation company to build. Smuckers has been around forever. They're going to continue being around forever and growing their cash flows and that dividend.
So picked up 2 shares in the $115 to $116 range. This added $7.20. Again, they've grown their dividend for over 10 years now. And, going forward, they have that perfect dividend, payout ratio. And, going forward, I do anticipate future dividend growth, especially just the way that things are going with how we treat our lives itself. So Smuckers, 2 shares, $7.20.
So to recap, I'll cover my purchases once again. I added 25 shares of Huntington Bank, which added $15 to my dividend income. I added 10 shares of Intel right before the market closed, which gave us another $13.20 of dividend income. Therefore, my wife and I added $28.20 over the last week via our stock purchases. And what about you, Lanny?
So you'll see here in the summary table, we added $44.63 to our forward dividend income based on the purchases with Vanguard, Pfizer, Intel, and Smuckers.
Fantastic. So please let us know in the comments below, what stocks have you been buying lately? Have you been buying the same companies we are? Do you like Lanny's strategy of continuously building up this Vanguard strategy? Because let me tell you, it is going very well. And what are your thoughts about Intel and the new strategy and the chip announcement that came from Microsoft too?
Again, the name of the game is to keep adding income based on what you currently have in cash that's being ready to deployed. It beats the heck out of that 0.5 5% that you're getting on your high yield online savings account.
High yield savings account.
It's all about putting that money to work for you as you try to strive and reach for financial freedom. This is Bert and Laney from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.